Hi, it's Steve. Always great to meet up with you and do further work on your game. Quick recap on the key points that we covered. I mean, this session really related to, largely related to anyway, pressure point 5, the right arm against the chest, if you will. There was a little bit of talk about the handle location. If we look at things at setup, the handle location is a little bit back for a player who wants to discourage a cut. With the handle back, takeaway tends to be a little bit, sort of, if you will, a little bit laggy. The right arm stays straight for a little bit too long. The left shoulder's working a little bit too level. One of the things you were doing nicely at the start of this session was relinquishing the flex in the right knee, which is great because you're staying nice and centered on it. You just gained a little bit too much height because, again, what we've just been talking about in the takeaway. If we look at you as you were approaching the top, there was just a little bit of pressure being relieved under the right arm. The left shoulder, again, was working upwards a little bit too much. On occasion, the right elbow would get stuck behind us and start to separate. This can be seen from face on. So the right arm gets behind us. Now it's got a straighten, or the right elbow gets behind us. Now there's a straightening out. You see the arm coming away from the side, the daylight between the right arm and the side. That's causing the wrist to uncock and accumulator 3 to roll just in order to turn the corner. And we discussed that, accumulator 3 rolling and you coming over the top, or that over the top sensation can happen earlier or later. So in this one, it happens from about P5.5. There are occasions when it happens very early. And there are also occasions where everything's really good just prior to impact and then bang, that right arm straightens out in an attempt to turn the corner. So we want to try and encourage keeping a little bit more flex in that right arm through the hit. And we're going to do that by discouraging that right elbow from getting too far behind us. So our first protocol was to place a glove beneath the right arm and really feel like we're squeezing it pretty much all the way down the bicep. So as we get to the top, we've got the glove beneath. You can see there's still that remnants of you wanting to drop that right elbow in behind you. But that now starting to line up a little bit more with the right hip. No real need for accumulator 3 to do too much coming into the ball on that one. You can see even from that angle there's a little bit of flex in that right arm now. And one of the things you said was you felt that the lower body had to work differently in order to maintain that pressure point throughout the swing. So the rather crude way we left it for your swing thought after this session was to squeeze the crap out of pressure point 5 from P1 all the way through to the finish. So really squeezing pressure point 5, shaft shallowing nicely, right elbow not getting as far behind as it used to, and as a result we can have a much more incremental sort of unloading of accumulator 3 through the hit. We don't want too much unloading too soon, and we certainly don't want any independent twisting of the club face if we can help it. When we started to work on this, the thing that we saw was that the elbows would still want to divide and the right knee would still want to hold on to a little bit of flex, as per our previous meeting. So it was to be expected. You were working on something totally different. When the right knee keeps its flex and the elbows divide, we know that the tilts get a little bit out at the top. Much nicer move through the ball. So all we did then was revisit the Martin Kaymer style drill. We were squeezing the ball between the forearms. That's going to tidy up the elbows. It's also going to help tidy up the tilts, the left shoulder working down more, allowing you to concentrate on letting some of that flex out of the right knee. Pretty good position at the top, just gets a little bit long. Control that and you're good to go. Again, club coming in from a nice angle. Swinging through without too much independent use of the hands. So we're controlling the way the accumulators unload from the top. Hope you're well. By the sounds of your email, you're progressing nicely. You're understanding the sequencing a little bit better than you were maybe at the end of your session. So hopefully things bode well for the coming month. We're obviously booked in towards the end of July, early August, and I look forward to seeing the progress when we meet up next. Well done.